Hi, Jewish mom. So I want to tell you, we had this really fun Shabbat. We went up to Tzfat with my husband's students, like we do every year. And like every year, then on the Friday before Shabbat, then I go with a few kids to Meron. We take the bus from Tzfat to Meron to daven at the Kever of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And so this year we had an interesting experience. I went with a few children, and after we had davened at the Kever of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, so being a Jewish mom, of course I wanted to see. It's right next to Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer was just this past week, and so people are still going there to do halakhes, to do like upsherin, to cut the hair of the 3-year-old boys. So of course, as a Jewish mom, I had to, after we went to daven at the kever, I had to take my kids to go and see the cute little 3-year-old boys with like the long hair getting their hair cut. So when we got there, there was a little boy, and they have like a kind of a little red felt kind of throne for the halakha boys. It's very cute. And there's this one boy with like really long, beautiful hair, and the family was doing his halakha right then. Um, and so like they were maybe 5 or 10 minutes into the ceremony, and different members of the family were coming and giving blessings to the boy and cutting his hair. It was very sweet. And they had set out like a whole table of food for afterwards to celebrate. And then something interesting happened above the place where they were doing the halakhes, which is right next to the grave of Rabbi Shimon. So there's kind of this metal walkway above it, and then a man, I guess, who works for the site there. So he started yelling at everyone and saying, "Get out of here! Get out of here! You need to get out of here!" And I guess everyone was kind of involved in what they were doing, and no one really heard him so much. And then all of a sudden, he had this kind of hose thing, but kind of more powerful than a hose. And he started spraying the hose, and everyone started screaming and saying, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?" And he said, I have to clean this now. Now I have to clean the walkway. And they're like, "Adoni, look, we have a table of food here. We're in the middle of a halakha, and maybe, not right now." So the man actually was actually accommodating and actually did something else. But when I saw this, it really struck me, because this is a man, and the person who was cleaning the walkway, or who wanted to clean the walkway and then went to clean something else, and he decided, he that morning, he had been given a to-do list by his supervisor, I assume. And he's okay, first I do this, and then 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 I do, at 11:45 on Friday, I'm going to wash the walkway. Okay. So the fact that there was a large gathering of people underneath the walkway that were going to get soaked by him washing the walkway, and the fact that they had like this entire table full of food, carefully prepared and set out food for the halakha, didn't matter, because he had 11:45. He was going to be washing that walkway. So it reminded me, it's something that Rabbi Niven, he said this years ago, and it was kind of a fleeting statement, but it really made an impression on me, because it's something that I think that I can have this tendency, is to make your to-do list into an avodah zarah, to make your to-do list into a form of idolatry. You say, "This is my to-do list, and that must mean this is the most important thing." This is the most important thing. He had on his to-do list 11:45. It doesn't matter there's a table there. It doesn't matter he's going to get these people soaking wet. It doesn't matter that the halakha boy is going to like leave crying and screaming from getting soaked from above by the cleaning person. It doesn't matter. 11:45, he's got to do it. As opposed to rethinking and saying, well, maybe he could come back at 12:30. Maybe he could come back, do it on Sunday when there are far fewer halakha boys, because it's not a day off work. Or maybe he could do it in the evening when there's no halakha boys, or I don't know. He could do, like, there's all sorts of options of when he could move his, the 5-minute washing of the walkway to, as opposed to 11:45, right, soaking the halakha boy and his family. So I had an experience like that this morning. I just want to tell you kind of like how I applied this attempt not to make my to-do list into an avodah zarah. So every Sunday I go shopping. Every Sunday morning before I make this pep talk, I go shopping every week, and that's what I do. And that's how, like, I kind of start off the week, and I make sure that there's the food for the week, and that's how I really, really like to do it. I go shopping, I go food shopping, and then usually I go to the pharmacy if I have anything to get at the pharmacy, and then I come home. And so this morning we came back from Tzfat. We got back from Tzfat last night very late. We got back at we got back around 12:30, and I ended up getting to sleep after after 1. I think quite a bit after 1, after dealing with all the things I had to deal with, getting everyone to sleep. And the problem was that usually I probably would have just let everyone sleep in, and I would have slept in. But my daughter Sophia, Mazal Tov, she has her Misibat Chumash today. She's getting her first Chumash. She's in 1st grade. She's getting her first copy of the Torah, of the book of Genesis. And so she had to be at school no later than 8:30. Otherwise, she would miss the bus to the festivities for the Misivat Chumash, which was girls only. Thank God, not mothers, so I could actually, if I lo chashuv. So what happened was I had to get up at 7 this morning to make sure that Sophia was ready in time to get to school at 8:30 in the morning. And then once I got Sophie up, then Yonatan came down the stairs and I had to take care of him. And then once I dealt with Yonatan, then 4-year-old Yaakov came down the stairs. And then this one, and then that one. So basically, the whole morning between 7 in the morning and a little bit before 10, I was kind of getting very tired children out the door. As opposed to kind of, usually what I do is I kind of wake everyone up and get everyone out, and it's a much quicker process. So basically I was doing all of this on 6 hours, probably closer to 5.5 hours of sleep, and I was really, really tired. So it meant that by the time I was done with everyone and taken Yaakov to Gan around 10 in the morning, then really I needed to sleep. And my to-do list said, you have to go shopping this morning. It's Sunday. You have to go shopping. And I knew, no, you don't make an avodah zarah out of the to-do list. Because what would have happened if I had gone shopping this morning? It meant that I would have been very, very tired. It meant I would have been very tired in my pep talk, and you probably would have been able to tell. I probably would have been a bit tired in making my pep talk, so it wouldn't have come across so well. And I would have been very, very tired and grouchy with my children the whole day, and with my mother-in-law, who's now staying with us for a few days because she was visiting for the bat mitzvah, and just everything. It just means like basically, if I didn't really take this morning just as a morning kind of off to rest, to catch up, to recover from getting back at 1:30 and having to get up at 7 in the morning, then like my whole day would have been ruined. And if my day is ruined, everyone's day is ruined. If Ima's wiped, everyone's going to get wiped out. So I just spent the morning basically at 11. So I went back to rest and rested until 11 this morning. At 11:10, I went downstairs to have breakfast at 11:10. So now, then, so basically, and then so I did have my rest of the morning, and I did a few things that I needed to do, but so just in conclusion, sometimes you have your to-do list, you have the things that you planned, but it's very important, this is something that I've learned from Rabbi Niven, to always, every moment, be thinking, what is your yi'ud? What is your mission in this moment? What's the most important thing to be doing right now? It might be that a week ago or a day ago or a few hours ago, then you thought the most important thing would be for you to go shopping, or for you to clean up, or for you to do laundry, or for you to go shopping, or whatever you had planned for that moment, for that day or moment, whatever. But when that moment comes, maybe you have a child who's sick, maybe you have a husband who needs your help, maybe you have an urgent phone call that you really, really have to make. Maybe like there's something that you have to do, which ends up being in that moment you realize it's really more important than the thing that you had planned. Okay, so on that note, I just want to bless all of us that we shouldn't become slaves to our to-do lists. To-do lists are kind of suggestions, but in that moment, think: is this really? Is this really, truly? I know I made the to-do list. I made it, whenever I made it. But is this really what Hashem wants from me right now? What's the most important thing that I'm supposed to do? What is my true next step in Avodat Hashem? My true next step in serving Hashem right now? On that note, I want to bless all of you with an amazing week. Kol tov.